Hello, class. In today's lecture, we are going to analyze sequential circuits, how it behaves. That is what we want to do. Sequential circuits can be put into two. Okay, and these are asynchronous or synchronous sequential circuits. So sequential circuit can be either synchronous or asynchronous. Okay, so it could be either synchronous or asynchronous. So always remember that sequential circuit can be either synchronous or asynchronous. Now, how do we analyze the behavior of a sequential circuit? And that is what we will be looking at. So we call it analysis procedures. Okay, so we look at the analysis procedures. What it means is that there are some procedures that we go through as we analyze sequential circuit. Now, if this is my sequential circuit, okay, so this is my sequential circuit. Now, this sequential circuit, every circuit or a system has input and output. So the first thing we do in analyzing the behavior of a sequential circuit is to write the input equation and then the output equation of that sequential circuit. So what it means that, one, this is my sequential circuit. The first thing I do is to write the input and output equation. Okay, so that's the first thing we do. Now, this sequential circuit has a flip-flop in it, right? So we are writing the input and the output equation of the flip-flops. Okay, so that is what we do. So the first thing we do is flip-flop input equation and then output equation. That's the first thing we do. Now, because they are flip-flops, every flip-flop has its characteristic equation. Remember? Okay, so that particular flip-flop in the sequential circuit that we are analyzing, we identify that flip-flop and then we come out with its characteristic equation. So we have the characteristics equation of the flip-flop. Okay, so here we come out with the characteristic equation of the flip-flop in the sequential circuit. Okay, so that is it. And remember that every characteristic equation tells us the next state of that particular flip-flop. Okay, so for example, for a JK flip-flop, we know that the characteristic equation for Qn plus 1 is equal to J K, yes, J bar plus K bar Q, right? So this is a typical characteristic equation for a JK flip-flop. So this is our equation that takes us to the next state. You get it? Very good. So once we have the characteristic equation, we can now have our next state equation. Okay, so the characteristic equation will lead us to the next state equation. Okay, you get it? So this is, for example, this is the characteristic equation of a JK flip-flop, and this is the next state, right? So input, give it to the next state equation. Okay, now having gotten the next state equation, the next point we do is to derive the state table or the transition table. Okay, so we now derive state table or what we call a transition table. Okay, now this table or the state table or transition table is a representation of the sequential circuit, and it consists of 3 columns. Okay, 3 columns. We have the present state, okay, and the present state, that it designates the state of the flip-flop before the occurrence of our clock. Remember, okay, it's a synchronous circuit we are analyzing, so, or a synchronous circuit. So what happens is that in the state table, the first heading will be our present state, and our present state, it tells us that, look, before we apply a clock pulse, what was the state of that sequential circuit? Okay, then the next on the table of a state table or a transition table is the next state. Okay, so that will be our next thing we do on the column heading. Now, the next state shows the state of the flip-flop after the clock pulse. Remember, the present state is before clock pulse. The next state is after we have applied our clock pulse. What will be the state of the flip-flop? Then finally, we have our output. Okay, we have our output section, which lists the value of the output variables during the present state. Okay, so that is it. So that's the fourth on the table, on the procedure, the state table, okay, or what we call the transition table. Now, the final thing we do is the state diagram. The state diagram. That is the final thing we do while we analyze the a sequential circuit. Now, the state diagram is, there's a relation between the state diagram and then the state table. All we are doing is to, what we have on the state table, we are representing it graphically. Okay, we are now drawing it. Okay, now, so in this case, In our state table, we use circles to represent a state. So let's say that we use circle to represent a state. So let me just give a typical example of a state table. Okay, so this, I will explain everything. Okay, now in the state diagram, we use circle to represent a state. Now, inside a circle are numbers. Okay, these binary numbers inside the circle identify the state. Okay, so 00 is telling me the state of the free flop. So 01 is the state, 10, and then 11. Okay, now there is a direct line linking the circles. A direct line linking the circles, as you know. This direct line is telling us the transition from one state to another state. And on this direct line, you will see, let's say 0/1, 0/0, maybe 1/0, and then let's say 1/1. Now, the first 0, what it does is that it is telling us the transition. Okay, so it's telling us that when the input was 0, okay, that is what it is telling us. So it's telling me this input 0, it is this 0 that causes the transition from state 00 to state 01. Okay, so when I come here 1/0, the 1 is telling me that it is the input 1 that is causing the transition from 10 to 11. Okay, so that is the first thing you should know. Now, the second one, that is /1. The 1 after the slash, it is telling me that after the transition, the output changes to 1. So it's telling me the output. Okay, so 0/0 means that this is the 0, the input that causes the transition is 0, and then the output also is 0. Okay, so that is what I want you to recall. Again, on a state diagram, you are going to see something like this. And what is that thing? It is like an arc, okay, on a state. And then maybe this. What this is telling me is that at a particular state, when we do not put anything at the input, that is, the input is 0/0, it means there is no change. Okay, there is no change. For example, if you recall our truth table, let's say when j is equal to 0, k equal to 0, okay, that is when j equal to 0, k equal to 0, we say on the truth table that there's no change. Okay, whatever is stored in the free flop is maintained. So on a state diagram, when you see an arc on a circle, it is telling you that, hey, there is no change. Okay, there is no change. There is no change. So that is that. So on a state diagram, a circle represents a state, and then the two binary numbers or any binary numbers in a circle is telling you the state okay, the present state. Now there's going to be a transition, and what will cause the transition is the input to the flip-flop. Okay, so if I feed 0 and there is a transition from one state 00 to 01, then it means this 0 is what causes the transition. And after the transition, it gives an output of what? 1. Okay, it gives an output of 1. So remember, so a direct line connecting a circle within itself, okay, so a direct line connecting a circle within itself indicates that no change of state occurs. Okay, so if I put this here and then I put 0/0 here, it means that when the input was 0, the state, it didn't change, it still remained at that same stage. Okay, so in brief, the state diagram provides exactly the same information as you have on the state table. Okay, and you obtain the state diagram directly from the state table. You obtain the state diagram directly from the state table. So these are the procedures, okay, that we go through when we want to analyze the behavior of a sequential circuit. So when you have the sequential circuit, the first thing you do is to write the flip-flop input and output equations. Identify the particular flip-flops in the sequential circuit, and then you come out with their characteristic equations. Okay, then the characteristic equation will help you to identify your next states. After getting your next state, you come out with your state transition table, and then from the state transition table you come out with the state diagram. These are the 5 steps that you go through while we are analyzing a sequential circuit. Thank you, and in our next lecture we'll look at a typical example and then we'll analyze the behavior of that sequential circuit. Take your time and then go through the procedures. Bye bye.